Hi guys, Shanna here with Chattanooga Fashion Expo, and we're continuing our alumni series. And today I have Taylor with me.
Hi.
And Taylor is a beautiful soul who came to us on year one, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your CFE journey.
Yeah.
So Taylor, tell us what you remember about your first journey with CFE.
Well, that was like 2 years ago, but it feels like 10 years ago.
Right.
I remember that I was just recently had moved into Chattanooga independently. I was living in a house, like in a lot of new phases. And I get a message from my friend talking about how she met some lady at a restaurant and wanting me to be a part of a fashion show, and everything happened so fast. I hopped on a call with Shanna, and then she was just like, "This is the real deal. We're doing this, and we're going to be big." And I'm like, "Okay." You were asking if I wanted to do a collection, and I knew that would stress me out. And so you were like, "Oh, well, we have competitions," and found out about the sustainability competition. I was like, "Well, I'm trying to be more a sustainable fashion designer, and I always like a challenge, so I think I'm gonna go down that route." And you offered that I could also have like a table where I could sell some sweaters, and so I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna make 10 new sweaters and a competition outfit. Let's go for it." And it was really bizarre. My first show, my first year like being out as a fashion designer, and the experience was very exciting. Stressful internally, but outwardly, like the only thing I really had to worry about was my social anxiety. But other than that, everything was pretty simple, pretty smooth.
So what are some of the highlights for you from that first year? Like, what did it do, the things that you were involved in? What did it do to help you grow forward, maybe?
Well, it definitely got my name out into Chattanooga. MFA took me up, and they wanted me to have my own segment, and had me as a headlining designer for their 423 day of that year. And so with that, after that, I was asked to do like shows after show after show, and people most notably know me for my competition piece. I presented an outfit made out of Five Guys bags and Target plastic bags and KFC bags. I made a corset and balloon sleeves and some wide leg pants with slits on the side. And everybody's like, "Five Guys!" And I'm like, "It's called Rush Hour." Because it's supposed to be about consumerism, and I'm actually making a video about that. It's going to be coming out within the next couple of months.
Great.
And so from that, people know me as the Five Guys outfit or the Five Guys designer. And from that, also a sustainability designer. I usually get my things from Goodwill or any sort of thrift store around, or I will be resourceful in the way of like getting a curtain off of Amazon and turning it into a glamorous dress.
Right.
And so yeah, that's kind of what happened afterwards. I've kind of been taking a break from fashion right now because it is a rich kid sport, and not a lot of people really can respect your prices, and you're just like, okay, if it's not for you, it's not for you, that's okay. But as of right now, I've just decided to take a step back, and I'm working on films now.
Great. So in reference to some of the things she mentioned, so if you don't know MFA, they're a wonderful local nonprofit, and they music fashion arts organization, and we partnered with them on the first year really tightly, and then they've expanded and they're doing incredible things.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a community nonprofit to support, they're definitely one. And they do the same thing, a similar thing. We do it more in fashion, that side of things, but they also help launch artists and give them opportunity, and they're expanding to other cities as well, which is magic. And then Taylor, like that Five Guys outfit, we're going to show you some of that hopefully in this video. But it was incredible. It was forward thinking, and that's one of the things I've always loved about you is you never just cared about aesthetics. You always cared about sustainability, about the planet, about people, about the impact of these things to and from us, right? And I think that's been part of your mission from the beginning.
Yeah, it's very important, and people don't really get it. Some people do and not really care because they feel like, oh, there's other ways that people are damaging the planet, but fashion is up there with like one of the top 3, if not 5 ways of like polluting the world. And it's very hard to not fall into going and scrolling through websites like Shein and Forever 21 and stuff like that, because they're cute and they're affordable, but they not only steal from other designers, but also the way they manufacture their products is through overworking workers or child labor and underpaying and in ridiculous climates and situations that aren't healthy for anybody to be working in. And so there's just a lot of negatives for one positive, you getting a cute outfit for a good price. I don't think it's worth it.
Right.
And so that's why I've been trying to be very prominent in pushing that sustainable fashion, slow fashion should be the new trend, because fast fashion is so dangerous and it's damaging our environment.
Yes, and we have to pay attention on all sides. You know, I was talking to Elizabeth Miller this morning, another local designer, and we were talking about that. I mean, everything from the way we touch the earth to our food and our water, like going back to the earth, going back to sustainable practices, and you know, really being aware of the energies that we are creating and also being impacted by, and putting ourselves in a better place of health and stability by what we put into our body, what we put onto our body, and the kind of artists and, you know, companies and things that we support. So
that is another important thing too. Yeah, I am also spiritual in the way of I put intentions into my clothes, and so one of the seasons or one of the collections I did after CFE was called Sets, to reflect on sunsets, and that was to resemble me coming out of a phase. It's actually the collection I sold at CFE. It's supposed to basically talk about, like, because through CFE, I was during a very dark time in my life, and towards the end of the year, I was able to really submerge as a different person, like learn from my mistakes and everything, and it was hard. It was very hard because I had to go through all that alone, which everyone does. And so I wanted to create a piece, and I call them my children because that's what they are. I wanted them to be able to comfort others going through their hardships and be able to, like, give them a sense of peace. And it's amazing because people would buy them, and whenever people would feel like they didn't want it, I'm like, okay, it's just not meant for you. But people who did buy it, they would message me and be like, I just feel so comforted, and like this sense of peace comes over me when I'm in your clothes. And I'm just like, that was the goal. I can't really say much about it because, like, that would defeat the purpose, but like it's for others to experience themselves and to understand in a different way. And so fashion is powerful in that way, like when it comes to colors and tensions and everything. And so that also ties back into what fast fashion actually does into the world, like stress. You wear that stress and you carry it with you everywhere you go. So if you haven't started to shop that way, I encourage you to try it, like sourcing things more consciously, basically. You know, and that's why, like, if I'm going to buy something, it's usually used, and I'm recycling, you know, buying secondhand because I love it, because I feel like it has a story, or also recycle, upcycle, or supporting specifically an artist that I believe in, that I know is putting intention into their clothes and jewelry. Then I'm feeding into someone that I love and I want to support. Then I'm able to spend the money on that because I'm saving on this side. And what a great way to just put intention back into the world, and then take that beautiful energy and intention back to you, you know, and to wear something that someone you adore or respect has created. Like, it's a lovely symbiotic relationship then between the buyers and the sellers. And that's one of the things we're really proud of at CFE is the people we bring in. They're hand making things, or like Nwane, you know, she brings in these things that are made in South Africa by women, and we're creating jobs for them. You know, it's like there's something, you just feel good. It's like there's a good energy, you know, you're empowering women all over the world when you buy a piece. So those things are important. So if you haven't started to give yourself that kind of good energy, I encourage you to do it. But any specific highlights stand out in your mind? Any moments or something that was said or done, or a moment where you stood there and you had an epiphany, like anything from your CFE journey stand out? Well, I'm trying to think. It was just so
Did you expect to win?
I did not. Honestly, I kept telling people, I'm like, I'm not even trying to win. I'm just trying to get out there. I'm trying to get my name out there. And so when I was thinking of the idea, I was telling my mom about it. Everybody I told about what I was doing, they're like, okay, let's see how it goes. And I'm just like, I don't need any negativity. I just need to get it done, because I also have a deep understanding of what materials can do. And with the weight of the potato sacks, I knew that I could sew into it. I was just worried about how much the model would be able to move into it before it breaks. Currently in the process of trying to laminate so I can make it into like leather jackets and stuff like that. Those are my ideas. But yeah, and then I was partnered up with Maya. I chose her. I actually had met her a couple months ago, and so everything was just falling into place. I was really excited about it. She was trusting the process too, because she was a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be wearing some potato sacks. But
Maya's also another model that we're going to interview because we launched her. That was her first time modeling, and she won the model competition. And so she's incredible. You made a good choice.
No, for real. I saw her, and since I was also going through social anxiety, I was like, I don't know anybody here. I just want to make the right choice. I saw her. I'm like, yes. And so with that, and then the process of getting there, I remember I asked Vanita because she was helping you out, and she was literally, without her, I don't know what I would
She's
have done.
incredible. Yeah.
I went up to her, I'm like, hey, can I like sew in the corner over here? Because
We have video of you sewing in the hallway right
Yeah.
before the competition, making sure the outfit was
right,
together.
because
It was so
I
cute.
walked into the back room and I saw it was packed, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sew in the corner over here. Don't worry, I'll be done before everybody gets here. And then people were just walking by like, what is she doing? Look at these Five Guys bags. Some people were like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then I was pretty much chilled because all I had to do was that outfit. I'd go back and forth from my table back to backstage. And then I remember when Maya got on the stage, everybody was kind of just like, wow. And I just like tried to describe what it was all about to the best of my ability, because I was also like trying not to get stumbled up by my words. And I remember backstage when the numbers started to get counted and I was like 75%, I just froze. I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember backstage like, and I was just like trying to find some breath, and it was just so crazy. It was so fast. And I not only won the audience award, but the judge award. And I was just like, this is so crazy. And then after that, it carried on to the next day because we had the photo shoot. And then after that was Thanksgiving. And I was like, Mom, please don't tell anybody. I just wanted to be normal for a second. They were talking about it then. And then after a while, after that MFA day, everything kind of just died down. And I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, no, it was crazy. I don't know. Like, I remember I just didn't feel like it was real. It was just so fast and all at once, and it was a really great experience.
But I remember our conversation, our post interview, when you talked about the dark space you were coming out of.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how art, and our involvement in art can cause a shift in trajectory. And it really did that for you, like you alluded to before. It took you from a dark place. It gave you a place to channel that and then turn it into light that you then pass to other people who might be in a dark space. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Energy is not destroyed, it's only transformed. And so I try and be very cautious about how I transform it. I'd like to clean it up. I even isolate myself if I feel like I'm gonna ooze off onto somebody in the wrong way. But no, I've always been a creative person, and I've always been somebody who's gone through like hardships. It's only in that point afterwards is when I started to actually feel like a complete change in myself, not just like a face that I was putting on for myself and others. Like, after that moment is when I felt like I was being completely transformed. And so I just wanted to share that love with everybody.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you for coming to talk to me today. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for having me.
So proud of you. Thanks, everybody. Be sure you look up Taylor. You have Instagram right now?
Yes.
We'll put it up there. Yeah,
Tails Maddox at TAILES MADDOX.
Be sure you look up Taylor and follow her and her journey, because she's always going to be doing something beautiful and creative and healing, whatever it is.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.